All right, this is Mr. Wyrick, and I'm going to go over the 329 notes. This is going to be the stuff for Thursday, the 23rd. So make sure you go through this video and then do your best on the assignment. So I'm here on the first one. Nice little joke, meme, whatever there on the first slide. On the second slide, parallelograms. Make sure you take this down in your notes. The definition, it's quadrilateral. So again, 4 sides, 4 angles. The angles need to add up to 360. And it has 2 pairs of parallel sides, okay? So we can see there's rectangles and squares included there with the illustrations, but really parallelogram, it has that basic meaning of the opposite sides are going to be parallel to each other. So that's definitely happening when we have rectangles, when we have squares. So rectangles and squares are technically parallelograms, and we'll talk more about that when we cover those specifically. Okay, so on that next slide, this is slide number 3. If you're kind of clicking through, don't forget, pause this video, write stuff down as you need to write it down. Slide number 3 says we have the opposite sides theorem. So we have the opposite sides of the parallelogram. Not only are they parallel, but they are also congruent. The opposite angles, if you draw diagonals on a parallelogram, and you can see we have some diagonals here drawn from A to C and another from B to D. Those connect the angles that are going to be congruent. And again, that's something that we looked at before when we looked at parallel lines with a transversal. Consecutive angles theorem for parallelograms. It's like when we had our same side angles there for the trapezoids. They are going to be supplementary. They're going to add up to 180. And then the last one there, the parallelogram diagonals theorem. If we have diagonals in a parallelogram, those diagonals are going to bisect one another. That's important to remember, and it's important to remember for all kinds of parallelograms that we are going to cover. So a lot there on that one. Make sure, pause the video, write in your notes. Okay, slide number 4. And this one's a sample problem. It says ABCD is a parallelogram. A is 56. Find the measure of the other 3 angles. So anytime we have consecutive angles, we're dealing with A and B or A and D as you're looking at this, then those are going to add up to 180. And the opposite angle should be exactly the same. So angle C is going to be 56. And then 180 minus 56 is going to be, well, 180 minus 60 would be 120. So then we're just going to put 4 more back on there. So this should be 124 for angle B and angle D. Okay. On slide number 5, find the values of X and Y. You just remember that these are the same when they're across from each other. So y squared plus 3 is equal to 12. That would be y squared is equal to 9 after you subtract the 3. And then the square root of 9 is going to be a positive or a negative 3. This would be one of the rare cases where you could have the negative. On the other one, we have 6x minus 7 equals 2x plus 9. The 2x is the smaller, so we subtract it. That gives us 4x minus 7 is equal to 9. We add the 7. We end up with 4x is equal to... should be 16. That's funny, it says the wrong thing on that slide. So if you were saying x is 3, it's not. It should be x is equal to 4. Okay. Slide number 6, we have another parallelogram. SY is 4x minus 11. YN is x plus 10. These are the diagonals, and they bisect each other. So they cut each other exactly in half. That means that in this case, 4x minus 11 should equal x plus 10. That means we're going to end up with 3x is equal to 21, so it should be x is equal to 7 as we solve it through. The important thing there for really, for what you're working on is the rule, and that's that the diagonals should bisect each other. And then slide number 7, find the measures of A and B. Those are alternating interior angles from parallel lines, and we know that 127 plus B should equal 180. So 180 minus 127 should be 53. So then B and A should both be 53 because they're alternate interior angles. Slide number 8. It's kind of tricky. I would draw the picture, and when you draw the picture, start with A in the upper left corner, and then go across to B, then down to C, then back left to D. As long as you draw it, it should be where you can get the right answers. So the one across from B, which should be D, should also be 72. And then you can fill in the other ones. 180 minus 172 should be 108. So both of the others should be 108 degrees. And then the very last one, SY and YN. Did I already do that one? Wow, that shows up on here twice. Okay, so just 8 slides really there. Let me see if there's anything too crazy on the parallelograms worksheet. Shouldn't be. No. Should be good. Just remember, when you have those diagonals on the parallelograms, it is going to split the stuff into 4 triangles, and triangles should always add up to 180, but you should be able to kind of see what's going on through all of that stuff and be able to kind of work that out. So hopefully this gets you in a good place. If you have questions, make sure to save those and touch base with me when I come back. Remember, you can save that 3rd attempt and try to use that one. Now, don't forget, enter those on that Schoology assignment.